Hey everyone, and welcome back, especially all you Homework Club kids. It is hump day or Wednesday, which means we are halfway through the week. And I hope you guys are just as excited as I am, especially when we are working towards that weekend. And you know what we have planned for this weekend? A fun new scavenger hunt available to you guys on Friday, so make sure you tune in. Now back to today, Wednesday, we are doing an awesome science experiment, and I hope you guys are ready for it. Before we jump into doing our experiment though, let's of course talk about our riddle. So, our riddle today, I think is a fun one. It's a little tricky, but nothing you guys can't handle. So, our riddle today is, what goes through towns and over hills, but doesn't move? I'll let you guys think about it, and as always, at the end of our video, after reading our chapter book, we will figure it out together. All right, guys, let's jump right into our experiment. Get excited, guys, because we are going to be making a bubble snake. Now, for my friends watching who are like, Emma, excuse me, what in the world is a bubble snake? Let me tell you, it's a fun little science experiment that pretty much everyone can do at home. What you will need is a plastic bottle. As you can see, there's something a little funky about my plastic bottle. I had to cut off the end bit. I left the top part where you drink out of it, and I cut off the bottom. Now, I would recommend asking an adult for help during this step. Don't do this by yourself, go see an adult. If not though, please be careful with those scissors and make sure you ask for permission. Now, what else are we going to need? I'm going to be using an old bandana because that's going to be easy to tie around the water bottle. If you don't have that, an old piece of fabric, an old sock, and some rubber bands should do the trick. What else will we be needing? You will be needing a giant pot to mix your bubble mix in, if you don't already have your own bubble mix. What we will be needing to make our own bubble mix is some soap, some glycerin, and I have a giant jug of water. This is what we're gonna use to get going on our experiment. So, I'm going to start by pouring my water into the pot. I'm going to be very careful. Don't wanna create too much of a mess. All right. Now I'm going to take my soap. I'm going to put a little bit in there. Nothing too crazy. We don't need to make it a crazy bubbly mess. We need to be exercising restraint, be a little responsible. So now I have my vegetable glycerin, and if you guys don't have this, that's okay. I would definitely still give it a try with just soap and water because we all know how bubbly soap and water can get. This is just what was recommended to me, so let's put it in. Let's see. All right, I'm putting a decent amount in there. And now I'm going to mix. We're going to mix. It's already getting extremely bubbly. I think this is gonna work, guys. It's really bubbly. Here, I'm gonna see if I can show you. A little peek of the bubbles. You'll see the real bubbles happening when we get to our bubble snake. So that is the next part. We take our water bottle, end is cut off. Make sure, or else we're just gonna look like a bunch of silly gooses. So cut off the end. I'm going to be taking my bandana. As you can see, I already have it kind of in a triangle. I'm gonna be putting it on the end, tucking it around. As you can see, I have it like this, and then I'm gonna go off camera real quick. I'm just gonna twist the ends around. That way I don't need to use a rubber band. I can just tie it. So I'm going to tie it right here, nice and tight. And then we will jump in to our bubbles. Oh, I'm so excited. So, nice and tight. I'm gonna do it another time, just so I can keep those little ears of the bandana out of my bubbles. So, here we go, finished product, taking the cap off so we can get started on blowing some bubbles. Are you ready? Okay, let's get started. I'm gonna dump this end into the mixture so you can see it's really saturated. Let's see what we can do. I want to let you guys know I am doing this over the bucket. Please make sure you are responsible. We don't want to make up a big mess, right? Ugh, no, no, no. So here we go. That is so cool. What you guys can't see is all of like, I know it's not smoke, but all like the little bubbles popping and releasing like the what looks to be like smoke. It looks really funny and cool. Oh no. All right, I'm gonna see if I can get a really long snake. So let's see. The first tries, as you guys saw, were really just like initial puffs. So let's do this. Oh, got some in my eye. So that's it, guys. We can do this all day. There is a whole lot of bubble fun to be had. As you can see, the bubbles have grown. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know I did, and I'm very excited to go outside and probably have a little bit of a bubble war. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys do this at home. And now we've got some positive action to go over. Our positive action today built off of our positive action from yesterday. So if you didn't catch it, make sure to go back, check it out so you can be up to speed and on the same page as us. So what are we talking about today? We're talking just a little bit more about the resource of possessions. Now, a quick catch me up. Possessions are things we are responsible for, things we take care of. Now, we talked a little about some examples that I'm wearing right now. A headband, some earrings, this shirt. This is even a possession of mine. Now, we've talked a little bit about what it means to have a possession, how important it is to take care of our possessions, and how it translates a little bit into everything else we take care of. I wanted to talk a little bit more about that. So, when our possessions have values, we take care of them, right? When we know it's valuable, especially things that might have been passed down throughout the family. You've maybe been given something by someone special in your life and it is valuable to you. Other cases, it might just be valuable. I'm talking cash, money valuable. Someone might have just gotten you something super duper expensive and nice and you want to take care of it. When something has value, and it's a possession, we take care of it. This is a lesson we can translate into taking care of ourselves and the valuable people around us. Do you catch what I'm putting down? I'm saying that by taking care of our possessions and things that are valuable to us, we learn how to take care of ourselves and the people around us so that when we grow up and start to grow our friendship circles and start to become stronger members of our family and start to grow and recognize things within ourselves, that we take care of ourselves, that we take care of the things that we value, of the people and relationships we value. So, I hope this has helped a little bit, helped you realize that spreading kindness is the mission, is the goal, because guess what? Spoiler alert, it is. So, now that we've talked a little bit more about possessions as a resource, let's get to reading. It's that time. Oh yes, it is reading time. We are jumping right back into our book, George's Marvelous Medicine. And I'm really excited because, guys, if you don't know what's going on, things are getting crazy. George has just left the house. He's gotten pretty much everything from the house, and now he's in the animal shed getting all the animal pills and potions, not potions, but medicine for the animals and putting it in the saucepan for Grandma. Things are getting crazy, and I, of course, as always, am very excited to see how it turns out. So, without further ado, let's jump right back into where we left off. All right. The last bottle on the shelf was full of pale green pills. Pig pills, the label announced. For pigs with pork prickles, tender trotters, bristle blight, and swine sickness. Give 1 pill per day. In severe cases, 2 pills may be given, but more than that will make the pig rock and roll. Just the stuff, said George. For that miserable old pig back in that house, she'll need a very big dose. He tipped all of the green pills, hundreds and hundreds of them, into the saucepan. There was an old stick lying on the bench that had been used for stirring paint. George picked it up and started to stir his marvelous concoction. The mixture was a thick cream. And as he stirred and stirred, many wonderful colors rose up from the depths and blended together. Pinks, blues, greens, yellows, and browns. George went on stirring until it was all well mixed. But even so, there were still hundreds of pills lying on the bottom that hadn't been melted. And there was his mother's splendid powder puff floating right on the surface. I shall have to boil it all up, George said. 1 good quick boil on the stove is all it needs. And with that, he staggered back towards the house with the enormous, heavy saucepan. On the way, he passed the garage, so he went in to see if he could find any other interesting things. He added the following: 1/2 pint of engine oil to keep Grandma's engine going smoothly, and some antifreeze to keep her radiator from freezing up in the winter, and a handful of grease to grease her creaking joints. Then back to the kitchen. All right, new chapter, the cook-up. In the kitchen, George put the saucepan on the stove and turned up the gas flame underneath it as high as it would go. George, came the awful voice from the next room. It's time for my medicine. Not yet, Grandma, George called back. There's still 20 minutes before 11 o'clock. What mischief are you up to in there? Granny screeched. I hear noises. George thought it would be best not to answer this one. He found a long wooden spoon in the kitchen drawer and began stirring hard. The stuff in the pot got hotter and hotter. Soon the marvelous mixture began to froth and foam, a rich blue smoke, the color of peacocks, rose from the surface of the liquid, and a fiery, fearsome smell filled the kitchen. It made George choke and stutter. It was a smell unlike any other he had smelled before. It was a brutal and bewitching, spicy and staggering, fierce and frenzied, full of wizardry and magic. Whenever he got a whiff of it up his nose, firecrackers went off in his skull and electric prickles ran along the back of his legs. It was wonderful to stand there stirring this amazing mixture and to watch it smoking blue and bubbling and frothing and foaming as if it were alive. At one point, he could have sworn he saw bright sparks flashing in the swirling foam. And suddenly, George found himself dancing around the steaming pot, chanting strange words that came into his head out of nowhere. Fiery broth and witch's brew, foamy froth and riches blue, fume and spume and spoondrift spray, fizzle, swizzle, shout, hooray. Watch it sloshing, swashing, splashing, hear it hissing, squishing, and splishing. Grandma better start to pray. Ooh, that is quite ominous. I'm excited to see what happens next. We are leaving it right before we jump into another new chapter, brown paint. Let's see. I'm excited to see. And if you want to see, well, you got to come back to the next video and I'll be reading that new chapter. So, before I say my goodbyes, I do believe we have a riddle to go over. So, who remembers our riddle? Do you? Do you? All right, let's see. Do you? Our riddle was, what goes through towns and over hills, but never moves? Did you figure it out? Did you guess a car? It's a good guess. Are you ready for the answer? It's a road. Get it? It goes over the hills and through towns, but it most certainly does not move. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, enjoyed this riddle, and I hope to see you here tomorrow. Bye! Thank you for watching.